here. Hello, welcome. My name is Erin Werley, and I am so pumped to talk with you today. I'm doing something a little bit crazy. I'm on Instagram at the same time, so we're going to see how it goes. So if I'm looking over here or if I'm looking over there, that's why. So anyway, I am talking today about something so cool, how everything in our universe is literally designed to work perfectly for us, right? It's like there really is this gorgeous, fantastic, intelligent design tying everything together. And my newest example of this, because you can see it anywhere you look, but I have started gardening, and and I have no idea how to garden. I grew up in the suburbs. Phil, my husband, grew up in the suburbs. No clue how to garden. And my whole life, I kind of thought, well, that's something that really wasn't for me. And I think that we're very much programmed to get away from what naturally is things that we should be able to do. Naturally, humans should be able to grow their own food and take care of themselves. But we're programmed to let society provide everything for us, right? And hi. And so that programming really does keep us stuck, and it keeps us relying on others to take care of basic needs that really should be things we should be capable of doing ourselves. 100 years ago, this country was full of farmers, right? And now this country is full of anything but farmers, and the farmers that are left can't make enough money to survive. Anyway, that's all beside the point. So Phil and I decided we are going to start gardening. So we have a house, and we have about, I think, a quarter acre that includes the house and the front yard and the backyard. So I don't know what the backyard is, a tenth of an acre or something. So we've been out there tearing it apart. And the coolest thing was we put some seeds in the ground. Again, I looked up nothing on the internet about how to garden. So I ignored all those past feelings I had of not being good enough because nobody had taught me how to do it. And I just let my inner self sort of take over and assumed that, you know what, these seeds probably know what to do. If I put them in the dirt and I pour water on top of them every day, maybe it's going to work out. And the coolest thing happened. It actually worked out. These seeds are growing. At first, they were like this big. And I tell you what, my daughter has a Pooh book, Winnie the Pooh, and in it, Rabbit says that the best way, so this is where I got my gardening advice, was literally from Winnie the Pooh. Rabbit says the best way to grow a garden is to go out and talk to the vegetables every day. So that's what we're doing. We're going out there in the morning, me and my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old, and we're saying, good morning, carrots, good morning, beans, and all these things. And we're going out and saying good night to them too. And I think it's helping. I really do. So we are having such a blast watering these things. And at first they were like this tall, and now some of them are like this tall, and they're like growing on their own. I don't have to do anything. All I had to do was rip some of my grass up and put these seeds in, and they're growing. So anyway, the crazy thing is, like, we all have these gardens in our houses. Our yards are all gardens. They're grass gardens. And we are out there watering our grass, cutting our grass, putting special chemicals on our grass to make it stay beautiful. We are naturally gardeners. We plant beautiful flowers, right? That is because our inner selves wants to do that. We want to have this thing that we take pride in. I'm looking out my window at my grass. We want to have this gorgeous thing that we take pride in, that gets us grounded in the dirt, getting our hands dirty, just feeling amazing. I have to tell you, being out there growing vegetables, it feels so good being out in the sun. Wow, it just has me all lit up if you can't tell. So anyway, I truly believe it is programming, that there are powers that be that want to keep us dependent on them. And so they have sold us this idea that we should have these beautiful grass gardens in our house. Or, and there's nothing wrong with flowers. I love flowers, but that, that's where we should put our time and energy into. And I was saying the other day to Phil, it's nuts because, if you remember the story of Johnny Appleseed from grade school, right? He traveled in the 1700s or 1600s, traveled the whole United States laying down apple seeds, because apple trees literally grow anywhere. We have all these beautiful old trees in our neighborhood because our house is from like the 1950s. And all these beautiful old trees. Not a single one of them is an apple tree. We live in the Midwest. We live about an hour and a half from Chicago. There is so like apple orchards everywhere. But none of these neighborhoods, even the ones that were cropped up 70 years ago, like our neighborhood, has a single apple tree in it. Well, that's crazy. That's because they want you to go to the grocery store and pay $5 for a bag of apples instead of having apples in your backyard the way it was designed to be. So I just feel like my eyes are really being opened this summer to how much society wants to keep us dependent on running to the grocery store for all of our basic needs when it really does come intuitively to us. So I know there's that whole idea out there that you have to have a green thumb, right, to grow anything, or you have to read books about how to grow, and most people that do it aren't very good at it. Well, I can tell you from my 2.5 weeks of experience that everything's growing, and I haven't looked up anything. It really is like, I almost want to call it intuitive gardening. I'm just sort of paying attention to what the plants like. Do they need more water? And we put some fertilizer. And I have to tell you, we've never been so excited before. We have created a compost pile out of a garbage can, a huge garbage can, and then we laid it with we had to poke some holes with a drill at the bottom, and then put a layer of like dead grass at the bottom, and then we just put all of our food scraps, food rinds, whatever would normally go in the garbage is going right into this compost bin. And apparently, because I've heard of people composting, right? I didn't know what it was. Apparently, it is going to turn into like this beautiful, rich, fertile soil and fertilizer that just goes right back onto the vegetables that you're growing. It's this beautiful circle that is designed perfectly by infinite intelligence for us to not just survive here in the physical world, but for us to thrive. We are here to thrive. Oh my goodness. And we have been blocking it our whole lives. Now, it's not our fault because we are programmed since birth, sometimes before birth, to believe that we are dependent, that we don't know enough inside of ourselves. It's not true. It is not true. My goodness, am I blown away. And to think that I have always sort of had this like idea that I would love to garden. But I let all those other thoughts of, well, everybody else says you have to have a green thumb, or I would probably forget to water it, or I don't really want to read the books about gardening to figure out how to do it. I'd have to take a class or something. I finally put all those thoughts aside and said, you know what? Maybe I am designed to be able to grow my own food. Just like that seed has all that information, it has a beautiful blueprint, right? To to flourish, to thrive, to grow perfectly. Maybe I am attached to that seed because we are all one. And maybe if I plant that seed in the ground, it's going to grow if I know it will grow. If I attach my knowing to that seed, if I go out there and talk to those seeds and tell them they're beautiful and I can't wait for them to grow and be healthy and strong so they can nourish my body, maybe that's all I have to know. Maybe when you read a book about how to garden, maybe you're just borrowing that person's knowing. And maybe not all of my vegetables will flourish. I don't know yet. But if they don't, I will learn so much. And next year, I'll be able to go out there and do a better job. So all this is to say that if there's something that has interested you, that you've wanted to do or maybe thought about doing, maybe for a month, maybe for 5 years, maybe for 20 years, but you've had a voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, maybe that voice is wrong. Maybe it's not true that you'd have to spend a lot of time learning about it. Maybe it's something that either you're here to do, you're designed to do. Maybe it's even your purpose. Now, I already know my purpose. My purpose is to spread the light, bring the light and the truth to the world. But that doesn't mean that I can't bring light and joy into my own life by doing these other things that I've wanted to do but told myself, oh, I couldn't do that. So I encourage you today, look within, ask yourself, pick one thing. Yeah, just a second, sweetheart. Pick one thing that you have told yourself for whatever reason you can't do, and ask yourself, maybe could you? And then think about, what is the first step you would have to take to make that happen? All my love to you guys.